everyone, and welcome to I Learn English. My name is Jed, and in this class, we'll be talking about the present perfect simple, which is kind of an interesting verb tense. First, I will explain in English, e depois eu explico em português. So, let's get started. Okay, so the present perfect simple. It's kind of a unique verb tense, and let's take a look. One of the things that's unique about the present perfect is that it doesn't exist in a lot of other languages. This is a verb tense, at least in the Latin languages, where there's limited, if any, usage of any verb tense of this sort. So it's one of the most troublesome verb tenses for people studying English to learn because they don't necessarily have a cognitive reference in their native language. That's one of the reasons why it can be troublesome. It's also used in a variety of contexts, which we're going to analyze pretty thoroughly and completely in this lesson. So, buckle up, get comfortable, because this might be a bit of a longer lesson because there's a lot of information to unpack, but we're going to get started now. To form a sentence in the present perfect, you're going to use either have or has, and then a past participle. And for those of you who have studied English a little bit, you've probably seen a chart similar to the one on this screen, and it has those three columns. The first column is the simple present tense, the second column is simple past, and the third column is the past participle, which we use in present perfect. For regular verbs, you just add an ed, just like you would in the simple past. However, in English, most of the irregular verbs come in the past tense and the past participle. And these are verbs, these are key critical irregular verbs that you just must memorize in order to get on the right trajectory. This is, one of the most common questions I get is, what should I study? It's like, well, really, you should study the irregular verbs in the past until you know them cold, until you have them memorized and you can just easily remember them on the spot. They really are critical verbs and essential for students to memorize. One way to use the present perfect simple is for actions that started in the past but are still happening. Not literally at the moment, but they're actions that still continue in your life. For example, I have studied English for 5 years. That started 5 years ago and is still happening today. She has known him for a long time. They started to know each other in the past, and they still know each other to this day. They have worked here since 2018, started in 2018, continues to this day. Okay, so that's one of the uses of the present perfect, is to express this idea that it's an action started in the past and it's still continuing to this moment. The other way we use the present perfect simple is to talk about completed actions that happened at an unspecified time in the past, such as, I've been to Spain. Okay, I've been to Spain. That could have been a year ago, it could have been 5 years ago, it could have been 10 years ago, could have been last week. So that's another way that we use the present perfect. He has tried to get a job there. At some time in the past, that person tried to get a job at that company. We've seen the movie. Again, we're not telling you when, but just that at some point in the past, at any time, we have seen that movie. She has eaten sushi. At some point in the past in her life, she has eaten sushi. Okay, and I think we can all say, I've watched TV. At some point in the past, we've probably all watched TV. We're not telling when, which is the second usage of the present perfect simple. Negative formations in the present perfect simple follow the same rules as to be and modal verbs. So we have and haven't, has, hasn't. We haven't finished the project. She hasn't seen the movie. Okay, so adding not after the verb. And then we have contractions with have not, haven't, has not, and hasn't. Question formation in the present perfect also follows the same rules as to be, where we can just switch the subject and the verb. So she has been to France. Has she been to France? And then we would answer either yes, she has, or no, she has not. They have tried skydiving. Have they tried skydiving? Either yes, they have, or no, they haven't. Now we're going to talk about a couple of words that are very commonly used with the present perfect, which are for and since. The reason that they're commonly used with the present perfect is because one of the ideas with the present perfect is the notion of time passing, time durations and stretches and periods of time. And for and since are two words that are excellent for conveying those ideas. We use for and since as two different ways of really saying the same thing. And if we look at the examples, they've known each other since they were kids. They've known each other for many years. She's worked at Google for 7 years. She's worked at Google since 2013. And so for and since are excellent words for expressing this idea of time passing, which is one of the key elements of the present perfect. Another word that's often connected to the present perfect is ever. And when a person asks, have you ever done this? Have you ever tried that? What that English speaker is saying is ever, at any time in the past in your life, have you done it? So when somebody asks, have you ever tried sushi? It's not necessarily a recent thing, it's ever in your life, ever at one time in your life. It could be when you're a baby, it could be yesterday. So you see, I put ever in parentheses because you don't necessarily have to use it, but it's very commonly used in American English. Have they ever been to Europe? Next one, have you ever seen The Godfather? Ever in your life. It could be many years ago when it came out. It could be an hour ago, right before you turned on this video. So that's one of the concepts of the present perfect, and ever is commonly used to express that idea. Have you guys ever been to this restaurant? When I say that, I'm not necessarily just talking about men. In American English, we say you guys to just talk about a group. And so it's not specific to a gender. Hey, have you guys ever been to this restaurant? Oh yeah, we have. It's really good. Never is also commonly used in the present perfect, such as the example there, I've never been to Australia. It's also very commonly used for negative responses. And if we take a look at the text below, we'll see a very typical conversation that you might hear between two Americans. Speaker A says, have you ever been to Disneyland? Speaker B says, no, I've never been there. Is it fun? So it's usually used with a negative response, and it's commonly connected to the present perfect. Or somebody might ask, have you been to the Grand Canyon? And you could say, I still haven't been there, meaning up to this point in my life, when the person asked me the question, I have not been to the Grand Canyon. Okay, so that's another way we use still. Since one of the ways we use the present perfect simple is with non-specific time periods in the past, I listed some of the most common ways that we talk about the present perfect without really being specific. So we can say something like recently, in recent days, in recent weeks, in recent months, in recent years, over the last few days, over the last several weeks, in the last few weeks, in the last several days. Or it could be something like, over the last several quarters, the company has performed well. Recently, the market has been very volatile. In the last few weeks, marketing has not been performing as well. Over the last several days, we have accomplished a lot. And finally, in recent months, the market has shown the following trends. So these are examples of kind of non-specific general ranges of time that we use a lot with the present perfect simple. This slide is just kind of a general tip, which is kind of a fundamental difference between English and a lot of other languages. A lot of other languages use no with places. In general, in English, we use no with people, like, hi, nice to meet you, nice to get to know you. There are certain situations which are, usually connected to location or geography where we use no. But if we're going to use no outside of the context of people, it's usually places or things that you know really well, like you're an expert. If you say, I know San Francisco, it means you know the city really well, you know the parts of town, you know the different areas, you know it really well. So just to sum up, we generally use no for people, but if you use no outside of the context of people, It's for knowing something very, very well, like being an expert. Another common question people have is when you use the present perfect simple and when you use the past simple. And the answer is that the past simple is almost always connected to a specific time in the past. So saying I've been to New York, again, that could be any time. It could be yesterday, it could be last month, it could be last year, it could be in 1962. Whereas I went to New York in 2008, we can see that went is connected to a specific time. So that's the main difference between the two. Some final thoughts on the present perfect simple. Memorize the two usages, the two ways that it's used. Look at the question formation. Be comfortable with ever questions. Have you ever been? Have you ever tried? Have you ever seen? Familiarize yourself with the non-specific time periods recently over the last few months. Make sure to keep practicing the present perfect with simple sentences, even alone, to familiarize yourself with it until it feels normal. Because once it starts to feel normal, then you'll feel comfortable using it in everyday speech, and then it will really become part of your English tool belt. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this helped answer some questions you might have about the present perfect simple. If there are any other questions that you have, please feel free to comment or just type them in the comment box and I will respond. And now we will continue the class in Portuguese. Oi, gente. Vamos falar sobre o present perfect, que é dos tempos verbais mais chato no inglês. E é chato porque mais ou menos não existe em português. O mais perto que eu já achei no português é tipo estive. Tipo estive, mas mais ou menos o present perfect não existe em português. E também tem vários contextos e vamos dar uma olhada e eu espero que fique mais simples depois dessa aula, tá? Ok, vamos começar com a formação. E a formação do present perfect simple sempre vai ter ou have or has, dependendo no eu, você, ele, I, you, he, she, it, we, they. E depois o past participle, que é a terceira coluna da maioria dos os materiais para decorar os past tense, os verbos no past tense, porque porque a grande maioria dos verbos irregulares são no passado, ou no simple past, ou no past participle. Então, é essencial decorar não apenas os verbos aqui no slide, mas todos os verbos irregulares no passado. E é essencial. Tem que fazer isso. Uma das perguntas mais frequentes que as pessoas pedem para mim é o que eu posso fazer para facilitar minha aprendizagem. E eu falo, bom, decorar os passados e os past participles, os verbos irregulares, porque são essenciais. Tem que saber. Com os verbos regulares, você pode botar ed, igual o past simple. Ok, vamos falar sobre o primeiro jeito de usar o present perfect. E o primeiro jeito de usar é para uma ação que começou no passado, mas continua até hoje. Não tem que ser algo que está fazendo literalmente agora, mas algo que ainda faz até hoje. Tipo, I have studied English for 5 years. Eu comecei há 5 anos e eu ainda estudo até hoje. She has known him for a long time. She met him. Ela conheceu ele há muito tempo e até hoje ela ainda conhece ele. They have worked here since 2018. Eles começaram no 2018 e trabalham até hoje na empresa. E o outro jeito de usar o present perfect simple é para ações completas que aconteceram num tempo indeterminado, que eu não falei exatamente quando aconteceu. Tipo, I've been to Spain. Não estou falando quando eu fui. Foi ontem, foi semana passada, foi em 2005, foi há 50 anos. E todos esses exemplos mostram que algo aconteceu no passado e terminou, mas não sabemos quando. He has tried to get a job there. Que ele tentou pegar um trabalho lá, ou algo assim, mas não sabemos quando. We have seen that movie. Sim, eu já vi, mas não estou falando quando. She has eaten sushi. Ela já comeu sushi, mas não estamos falando quando. E finalmente, I have watched TV. No momento na minha vida, até agora, já assisti TV. Tá. O present perfect segue as mesmas regras que o to be quando está formando uma frase negativa. Have not, ou haven't. Has not, hasn't. So we haven't finished the project yet. She hasn't seen the movie. É assim que a gente forma os negativos. Perguntas também seguem as mesmas regras que to be, que pode trocar o subjeto e verbo para formar uma pergunta. She has been to France. Has she been to France? They have tried skydiving. Have they tried skydiving? Só tem que trocar. Agora vamos falar sobre algumas palavras que são bem usadas com o present perfect. E as primeiras duas são for e since. E por quê? Por que usamos tanto for e since com o present perfect? Porque for e since são usados para expressar duração. E essa é uma das ideias principais do present perfect simple. Essa ideia de continuidade, que começou no passado e continua até hoje. Não tem que ser literalmente agora, mas continua até hoje. E olha como podemos formar frases com for and since que falam mais ou menos a mesma coisa. They have known each other since they were kids. Ou they have known each other for many years. Está falando mais ou menos a mesma coisa. Também, she has worked at Google for 7 years. Or, she has worked at Google since 2013. Uma outra palavra que está bem conectado ao present perfect é ever. E quando alguém em inglês se pede, have you ever done something? Está pedindo já até esse ponto na sua vida. Em qualquer tempo no passado, você já fez isso. Isso é have you ever. Ever in your life, ever at any time. Em qualquer momento no passado, você já fez isso? Isso é have you ever. Have you ever been to Europe? Até esse momento na sua vida, você já foi em algum momento. Não. Estou simplesmente pedindo, have you ever been to Europe? Ever in your life? Have you ever seen The Godfather? Pode ser ou ontem à noite ou há 30 anos. Até mais uma palavra que está bem conectado com o present perfect simple é never. Nem sempre, tem vários outros sentidos que não use, mas está conectado ao present perfect. Eu posso falar, I've never been to Australia. Tipo, de nada, eu posso falar isso. Mas olha nessa conversa, eu vou conversar com o Mário. Hey Mario, have you ever been to Disneyland? No, I've never been there. Is it fun? Então, pode ver que ever e never são mais ou menos um par com o pare. Mas são amigos nesse sentido, no present perfect, com ever e never. Have you ever been there? No, I never have. Has she ever been there? Yes, she has. E a última palavra que vamos analisar, conectado com o present perfect, é still. E still geralmente é usado com construções negativas. Alguém pode pedir, have you ever been to China? And I could say, no, I still haven't been there. Ou alguém pode pedir, have you finished the project? No, I haven't finished. E a pessoa pede de novo, have you finished the project? No, I still haven't finished. Esse still é referente à primeira vez que a pessoa pediu. Tá? Então, nesses dois sentidos, usamos still como present perfect. Como que eu falei que um dos sentidos que usamos o present perfect simple é para períodos no passado, tipo algo que começou no passado e continua até hoje, eu dei alguns exemplos de palavras que usamos bastante com present perfect. E aqui tem alguns exemplos. Over the last several quarters, we've seen good growth. Recently, the market has been very volatile. In the last few weeks, marketing has not been performing as well. Over the last several days, we've accomplished a lot. In recent months, the market has shown the following trends. Okay? São durações que usamos bastante com o present perfect. Beleza. Para quem fala um idioma baseado em latim, gente, a gente conhece pessoas em inglês. Eu não posso conhecer, Hi Disneyland, nice to meet you. A gente usa no, se você, como eu falei, primeiro para pessoas, mas se vai usar fora disso, geralmente é para algo que você é muito esperto. Tipo, alguém que nasceu no Rio, uma carioca, que conhece o Rio muito bem. Todos os bairros, todos os lugares de praia, ou alguém que é cientista, conhece muito bem biologia, conhece tudo, então he knows biology. Mas geralmente a gente usa no para people. E se você vai usar no fora disso, geralmente é para algo que você é ou alguém é esperto, tipo que sabe muito bem. E nunca vai falar por favor, não fala I know Disneyland. Por favor, não fala isso. I've been to Disneyland. Ótimo. Uma pergunta frequente, mas qual é a diferença entre o present perfect simple e past simple? Past simple, ou past simple geralmente sempre está conectado a um tempo específico. Por exemplo, I've been to New York não é específico, mas I went to New York in 2008. Quando está conectado, sempre vai usar o past simple. E para fechar, tem que lembrar os dois jeitos de usar o present perfect simple, de algo que começou no passado e continua até hoje, ou algo que aconteceu no passado sem saber exatamente quando aconteceu. Se acostuma com ever e a formação de perguntas com present perfect. E também esses keywords, tipo recently, in the last several days. Continua treinando até sozinho. Have you ever been? Yes, I've been there. Have you ever tried? Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Porque faz diferença. E, claro, eu recomendo flashcards, porque eu sou muito fã de flashcards. E continua treinando até estar começando a sentir normal. Tá. Então, muito obrigado, gente. Tomara que essa aula ajudou a tirar algumas dúvidas sobre o present perfect. Como sempre, pode entrar em contato comigo no comment box para ideias, sugestões, para zoar com o português, tudo bem? E boa sorte e bons estudos!